Aloha Shamans, and thank you for joining us here today with our beautiful friend Margo Sinclair, Minister of LEWA, and we're here to speak about intuition, and this is episode number 4 of the Simply Shaman series, and we're broadcasting from our beautiful dimensional space here in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States of America. To our worldwide viewers, thank you for being here. And I'm Dale Stacy, so I'm the Co-Abbot of EarthStar Spiritual Center. So I'll be your host today and fellow minister and shaman with Margo. So Margo, thank you for being here with us.
You're welcome. My honor. Thank you.
Yes.
Aloha.
High noon on Friday, March 13th. Isn't that something? Friday the 13th.
Woo! Lucky day. Lucky day. Friday the 13th. Very much an honor to be, on this date.
Yes. And we're here to speak about and discuss intuition. And you being an Aquarius Pisces cusp person. Oh my goodness, this is the wheelhouse, isn't it?
Yes, Aquarius. Just run it all together.
That's it. So that'll be wonderful. And we have a series of questions that we'll ask Margo, like we did in the previous 3 episodes, because it would be wonderful, and it is wonderful to have the aspects and perspectives of all of our various shaman friends that we know. So thank you so very much for taking time out. I know you're very, very busy and networking all the time, and you're, of course, caregiving for your mother too also. So thank you for all that you do. Okay.
Thank you.
Much well. All right, well, let's jump right into our show, see our slides, and let me pull that up.
Sure.
Okay, so here we are, Simply Shaman series, March 13th, 2026, Intuition with Minister Margo Sinclair and me, Dale Stacy. Okay, and we are EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. We're a multi-faith center for living Aloha, and you can see to the left there, that is our core principles. Those are our core principles, and all living God, love, oneness, heart path, and as above, so below. So again, that spells Aloha, and we've been doing this since 2002, and we'd like to invite you to be in a mind, body, spirit set of planetary awareness to galactic consciousness, as all of us are making this wonderful transition to 4D Mother Earth and doing all the wonderful things with our service to others, so we can go along and make this transition. And so shows like this, I'm certainly hoping that they will help you with that transition. And we'll continue with that theme throughout really the rest of our ministry here at EarthStar. And then we are, I also have a show Sundays at 11:11. That's our so-called cyber church or virtual church. We have Sundays at 11:11 a.m. about cosmic shaman and Aloha consciousness. These are some of the topics that we will cover this coming Sunday. We will cover Earth superpowers, so help us to deal with those. And then also, if you have any other services you'd like for us to share with, we can help you with these items that are listed, and also Margo can. And I've listed her contact information in the show notes. And also, if you like reading, then these are some of the books we've written, and this can help you along your shamanic path. These are all available on Amazon, and those are in the show notes. And you see the little symbol in the upper left for those of you who are budding authors. If you'd like to have your books published or anything that have a counsel or a consultation about that, just give us a call or a text or email, EarthStar Publishing, because that's how we published our books. All right, and Connecting Consciousness, something I want to share with you. This is one of the international organizations that we're also connected with, and that's with Simon Parks. He currently lives in England, and he is one of the organizations that will be helping to fund humanitarian projects once we get the nod and we come into that wonderful grand golden age, not only for America, but the world. So when that time comes, our humanitarian projects will be fully funded from the funds that are available. So the question is how do you currently serve, or how will you serve? Because you want to make sure that you have your skills intact so that when the time comes, you yourself can submit for a humanitarian project, or perhaps you can join one that's already been established. And the things that you do, that's called your earth superpowers, okay? Because that's what you're good at doing. And that's what we'll talk about this Sunday at 11:11, okay? And the humanitarian projects, now we submitted a bid for a $10 million humanitarian project back in 2023. So we're just waiting. So it's been 3 years, and we've been patient. And so hopefully that time will come soon. Okay? But also I've got Simon's information also in the show notes, and the organization is free to join. So it costs nothing except your time. And Connecting Consciousness is has over 100,000 people involved or members, and we're in over 100 countries around the planet. So yeah, take a look with that. All right, so here are the questions that we want to ask Margo today. So when we look at intuition, we can see that from the dictionary, just a basic 3D definition is the power attaining knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought, or in other words, quick and ready insight. So that would be a very grounded 3D definition. But intuition in itself, it's an Aquarius Pisces trait, definitely for sure. And so trying to get this down to a 3D level. Thank you, Margo, for being able to do that. Okay. So these will be the 5 questions we'll ask Margo. So define intuition. How long has she known that she was an intuitive? What's it feel like to be an intuitive? And how do you increase, evolve, or train your intuition? And what can others do to be more intuitive? Okay. So now we want to see if we can get the wisdom. Nope, we're not powering yet. Let me get rid of this. We're not ready to get rid of this soon. I mean,
Bending time.
Margo's beautiful picture. There we are. Okay, good. All right, Margo. So we know what the Webster Dictionary definition of intuition is. So from your experiences, and of course, you started your church just about the same time, right? Because we started 2002. Of course, we had the Taipei Center at 99. Yeah, 2004. Yeah. So we've been chewing up the same spot of earth here for quite a while now. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Your church inspired my church, and I tell that story often, and I appreciate EarthStar has rippled in so many directions, including this way in a big way. Thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you. And look at us now. Here we are on YouTube worldwide, universal wide. Okay, so we've heard the 3D definition for intuition. So for you, how would you define intuition in 3D terms, if you can?
Oh, I can. That's actually one of my gifts and one of my jobs, I guess you'd say it. One of my missions here on earth is to translate more or less the abstract into 3D language so that newcomers can start getting a brain wrap on a concept and begin internalizing whatever pieces they need. And so I've always been real adept with words and shades of meaning, language, communication and language. At one point, I learned sign language. That's fallen off. And Spanish. Spanish is much more efficient than English. I loved it. But anyway, the dictionary, I was amused by this 3D definition, the power or attaining knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought, quick and ready insight. No. Just no, that's not what it is. Sometimes it is. I'm teasing a little bit. The words, there were specific words that I took issue with, so to speak, that I didn't find entirely accurate about what is intuition. That is a working definition, but without evident rational thought, there is a ton of evidence. It is very evidential, especially if you're patient. The evidence shows up in the result. Evidence shows up in the result of the intuitive encounter. And sometimes there's actually, while it's going on, you can see little signals, if you know what to look for, that are also evidentiary. And without rational thought, intuition is more rational than any other type of thought.
Yes.
It's an ironic statement that they call it that. And there's more than one definition to the word rational, and I get that. But in this context, I was like, intuition is extremely rational, but only to the person that's having it initially. It becomes rational later as action happens to 4 other people. So yeah, it's technically correct, but not really. The word without rational, that phrase. And then the other part that I found fascinating was the quick and ready insight.
Right.
Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it can take minutes, days, hours, weeks, months, years for an intuition to fully form, to fully gel. And ready, quick and ready, yes. The intuition itself, yes, it's ready immediately. How fast we pick it up and put it to work, that's the slower part sometimes. And sometimes is the qualifier I'm looking for. Yes, there are plenty of times it's quick. And side note that's related to that, the quicker it is, the more accurate it is.
Yes.
We'll talk about this more later. What can others do to be more intuitive? But the quickest intuitions are a great way to train yourself to tune into your own intuition. For example, yes/no questions are an excellent practice exercise for yourself, with others, and whatever. And yes, that is quick and ready and instant. Yeah, and it will blow your mind what you'll say yes and no to when you're doing it, especially for someone else. So my definition of intuition is, I took some notes here, and that intuition is a natural mental state / holistic thought process. It's more than mental, way more. But for the sake of words, it's a mental and cosmic thought process that humans and animals and trees and furniture and earth and air and fire and all of it. It's a process that we do speak. Let's roll that back in for humans. Let me qualify. I'm speaking for humans at this point. It's a natural mental and holistic thought process that occurred more frequently and easily before indoctrination occurred for all of humanity. Okay. This is a natural state of problem solving, communicating, and experiencing joy and love in life in general. And indoctrination, and I'm sure you've spoke about this several times, because I know we have, about the indoctrination of humanity, which that's a whole nother series of podcasts. Yes. I'm touching on a whole library section of the Akashic there. But yeah, my definition is that humans do this naturally, and they have. And evidence of that, talking about evidence earlier, circling into that a little bit, babies, toddlers, young people, teenagers who have not been, and grade school kids who have not been so indoctrinated, which is more, thank God, it's more common now. Watch them and listen to them and ask them, why'd you say that? Why do you think that? And they'll try to tell you intuitive reasons.
Yes.
And yeah. Or they say, I don't know, I just feel it. I just know it. Which is awesome. It's clairsentience and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. Was there anything else about the definition of intuition you that I skipped over or need to revisit?
Well, I loved it, especially the part about, yes, it is natural. Now, would you say it's a natural skill for people?
You know what? I'm not sure I would classify it as a skill at all.
Right. Because it's just so innate. It's just within it.
Exactly. It's so innate. Well, just like other innate abilities, some people breathe better than others. Right. Some people sing better than others. Better being a relative word, but they're more comfortable with it and they do it more often. Right. So yes, I would definitely say that this is a part of the definition of intuition. The accuracy of your intuition. You can have 2 or 3 readings or more on the exact same situation, And part of the problem for newcomers is discernment.
Yes.
Which one applies on this timeline or not at all?
Mm-hmm.
And which one is ego trying to influence me or outside influences going on at this time? And so, the skill, I would say intuition is more innate, but the skill set that I think you're referring to is more about discernment.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the skills to discern quickly, well, accurately, and with the word respect is bubbling up.
Yes.
Because sometimes discernment needs to happen out of sheer kindness.
Yes.
And safety. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So isn't that wonderful that you're giving us a definition of intuition, and here on live air, you're actually using your intuition to give that definition. That's wonderful. It's bubbling up. I mean, and that just wonderful. It just comes out.
You're right. You're right. Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. I wasn't even aware.
Live
a little smidgen of it right there, live on the air.
Yeah, and I think the discernment thing you were referencing to, it's just going to be like any other skill that all of us have. I mean, people, whatever job it is, whether you're a shaman or a minister or intuitive person, some people are on a kindergarten level and some are on a collegiate PhD level, right? I mean, we're all at different places, and that's for every job on this planet, or every skill, every attitude, every behavior. So people have to realize, I love what you said about and emphasizing that it's natural. So this is not something you have to go to a school or someplace. It's in you. You just got to find it.
Absolutely. And something you've said that I wanted to add to the PhD level versus the toddler kind of level of awareness and intuition. How many times have you seen a PhD person learn something from a toddler?
Yes.
Tabula rasa, blank, hollow bone,
right.
Blank sheet. They have clarity. Beginners have clarity that the practiced have long since forfeited.
Yes.
And you gotta stay in touch with that. And that's interesting because sometimes my friends who are very advanced shamans in their own, they're like, how can you stand to listen to the newbies struggle? It's the same thing over and over. And it is. People run into the same roadblocks over and over. They're like, how do you do that? And they're speaking from ego. We're all human. We're still human. And I'm giggling. I'm like, because they teach me the whole time they're talking.
Yes.
They have insights. They have new ways of looking or feeling into these things that us old timers, so to speak, don't always enjoy, and we haven't remembered. And it reminds me of that hollow bone, tabula rasa, blank slate state. Yeah. It's cool. But yes, the old teach the young, but the young also teach the old.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Now you're bringing in that Zen principle. The student becomes the teacher, and the teacher becomes the student. That beautiful yin and yang aspect of who we are. Yeah, wonderful.
Yes. I love that when that happens. It does. Absolutely.
Well, great definition of intuition. My goodness, that's just the first question. You see the depth of wisdom and knowledge my friend has here. Okay, so question number 2. How long have you known that you are an intuitive, and could you give examples of different ages?
Yes, all my life. And apparently I was, as a very young child, we're talking, let's see, maybe 2 or 3 years old, probably 3, because I was speaking sentences during this example. My parents told me about this later. I lived on Walker Avenue in Greensboro in a little house with my parents, of course. My father was a high school art teacher. And this was back in this was 69, 70. And back then, high school students would come to their art teacher's house and hang out.
Right.
Okay. It was a communal thing and drink and smoke and do whatever, because 18-year-olds could do that back then. and 17-year-olds and whatever. Things were not as strict.
Yes.
And my parents told me it was getting on in the evening, and they had a little living room with them, and came out in my onesie, my pajamas. I was already past my bedtime. And I came out and looked around the room, and okay, I was a really cute little kid. I was really pretty. I was really cute. and I know I'm tooting my own horn, but I probably should have brought a picture of when I was a baby. But no, seriously, I was an unusually cute and beautiful. People stopped and stared and went when they saw me. All right, I was really cute. So,
Right.
And of course, I worked that at that angle as a child. I was not stupid. I parlayed that into lots of communicating, right?
Yeah.
So I walked out, and everybody's like, "Oh, she's so cute." And my parents said I walked over to one guy and climbed up on his lap, and of course he let me. I sat on his lap, and I kept patting his chest on his heart and touching his heart, and I kept saying, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You'll be okay." And he was like, what is she talking about? What? And I looked at him and I said, "She didn't mean to. You'll be okay." And then he realized what I was talking about, and it freaked him out. And he was like, "Okay, cute little girl, you can stop talking now." And
Yes.
handed me off. And his friends who were around him went, "Oh my God," because they realized what I was referring to too. His girlfriend had just broken up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going through heartache. And I was trying to console him, I guess, or, tell him he was be okay. Mm-hmm. And my parents were like, "Okay, sweetie, time to go back to bed. You stop being weird. We got enough weird without you."
Back into the closet.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Don't do that. Thank you. And my parents were not comfortable with the intuition stuff, but in time they learned that it was a lost cause to try to stop me.
Yes.
They learned really quick and so they couched it as, "This is Margo, and she has a terrific imagination. She's very creative, and she's extremely smart. Proceed at your own risk."
Yes.
It was basically the warning. She's like, "She's really smart. Go for it."
Yes. Have to walk in front of you and carry a caution sign, right?
More or less.
Yeah.
But and if I touched you, that was it. Yeah, we were connected, and you were going to enjoy it whether you liked it or not. But
did you remember when you? I know that's way back, but do you remember when you did that? As you understand it now, was there a sense of some sort of energy healing come out of your hands or your body?
Yes.
Or your aura?
Yes.
Okay.
I processed it at the time as love.
Yes.
Which it is. I processed it as, "Oh, it's my job to love you right now." I didn't see it as they were broken and needed healing. Yes. I didn't think I was fixing anything. I didn't think anything was wrong.
Right.
I just knew that there was a call for this person needs more love, or this person needs someone to say hi and acknowledge them. Mm-hmm. Or this dog needs me to rub his leg or his back or his ear or whatever, his chest or whatever he wanted. And animals submitted really quick. My sister had a similar ability. Animals would come running to her. Birds would come and land on her. She was freaking Snow White. And she died at age 23. But yeah, they called her Saint Francis, guardian, saint of the, not guardian, but saint of the small animals and other things. But anyway, it didn't occur to me that things were wrong or needful or broken. I just knew, this person needs a friend. This person needs some love. This person needs me to say hi and pat their arm. And people commented on that a lot when I was growing up. They're like, "Wow, she will touch you really fast." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." My parents are like, "Yeah, she doesn't know strangers." which was a little bit different, from other children. Other children will come up and, hold their hands behind their back or in front of themselves and go hi and stare at their feet. Now we are talking the 70s. But I wouldn't. I would look people straight in the face and start holding my hands out, waiting for them to put their hand back out at me. Or if they were sitting down, I would start patting their arm or whatever.
Right.
And hugging. Hugging was, people constantly told me, oh, your hugs are amazing. You're such a sweet little girl. And and once somebody smiled or laughed, that's when I would, oh, I'm done.
Right.
Then I knew that whatever it is I was supposed to do, I got there. And literally in my mind, I remember thinking they can take it from here.
Right.
Once I got them to smile or laugh, their energy would, or whatever, I didn't try to identify it, would take it from there. Now, growing up, another incident that happened dozens of times would be when I was in playtime with other kids my age. Out in the neighborhood, playing cops and robbers or hide and seek or, hopscotch or building forts or making mud pies or whatever, we wanted to do back then. Climbing inside the bushes and eat honeysuckle all summer long, make daisy chains and clover chains and look for 4-leaf clovers and draw pictures and lip sync to Donny Osmond and Marie. Yes. And Captain and Tennille. I'm dating myself a little bit.
Yes, you are dating us.
Yep, those were the biggies. And the Jackson 5 and all those cool groups. I was surprise. I was an assertive kid. Uh-huh. And I would tell other people, other kids what to do. I would lead. And I was leading by reading where they were at, if they felt good, if they didn't, if they were nervous or relaxed, if they were, feeling crunchy or yes. Smooth, just to give it a feel kind of thing. And they would get at some point, not always, but at some point they would get irritated and call me a know-it-all and say, you think you know everything. Stop telling me what to do. Comments like this. And we're talking 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. And that would shut me down because they would do it with an angry face. You think you know everything, blah, blah, blah. And it occurred to me, oh, I stepped on toes. I guess let's try dialing it back and see if it helps. Yeah, temporarily would help. But the pattern I noticed is somebody would be sad, thinking about something, trauma at school, trauma at home with the family, their dog, something, their cat. And they were processing it out loud, or they were acting out how they felt, and I would call them out on it. Yeah. And say, this is really about the fact your dad yelled at you this morning, isn't it? And now you're yelling at us, and that's not cool, brother. And that would piss them off.
All right.
They're like, you think you know everything, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, don't you know everything too? And that's what I was like, can't y'all hear what he's thinking and feeling? Yeah, and they're like, no, he didn't tell us that. You knew that. And we didn't. Matter of fact, how'd you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just know it. Yes. And it was right. Yeah, his dad had yelled him, for the example. His dad had yelled him that morning. And people would get freaked out and go, dude, you're weird. And I was known as the weird girl at the end of the street. Lived at a dead end in a cul-de-sac here in Jamestown. And so I was known as the weird girl. I was known as the bossy girl. I was known as the girl with too much hair. I had a shit ton I had twice as much hair as I do now. Right. And but kids, they pick on anything, they latch on to anything they think, is gonna connect to you. And so that was a typical example, is when I would get pushback from using it without discernment. Yes. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have the awareness to discern when to say something out loud that was a private thought or event for someone else. So at 8 years old, I started dialing it back, or have no friends.
Yes.
Okay, I need friends. So I did. I dialed it back and just used it only for myself. And when I realized that other people didn't hear what other people were thinking and feeling like I did, I realized they only did it to a point and then stopped. I realized that adults were more uncomfortable with it than kids. I realized that very, very young too. But there were adults that were exceptions, like my mother's cousin. Her name was Elizabeth. She liked it, and she would ask me questions.
Right.
And now she's a reclusive, unusual, strange person herself.
Yeah.
And I think she's one of the ones that didn't make it up here. But anyway, it overwhelmed them. But other children usually really enjoyed it. And older children wanted me to say stuff and read stuff for them. And I wanted to talk about that, reading versus listening when you're being intuitive. Those are two separate processes. But those are some of the examples. I mean, by the time I was in college, though, I was meeting more men and women, colleagues that were like me.
Yes.
I hired a few professional intuitives to read me without saying anything about my background, and they would identify me immediately every single time. Why are you calling us?
Yeah. Right.
Why you don't need us? And I was like, please tell me more about what you see. That is exactly what I want to know. And they would tell me interesting things. But that started in my college years, so 2025. And by the time I was 25, I was allowing people to hire me for the information, pay me for the information that I was hearing for them. Yeah. So there's a little handful of stories and examples.
Yes. What a pedigree. Oh, my goodness. I mean, from early on to adulthood. My gosh, that's great. Okay. Outstanding.
You know what? It's something that's related to this. My parents were intuitive too.
Yes.
Duh, we all are.
Art teacher, I would think, my goodness, that had to be something there on that side of the brain, that.
Very much so. Yes. Yeah. The right side of the brain. Left and right become mixed for me. But my mother was an elementary school teacher, so she too could do it. They just saw it as a fluke. They just saw it as just being creative, just being empathic, and that's an important word too, observant. You're very observant. I'm like, well, yeah. And then some. But yeah, my parents did it. My grandparents didn't demonstrate it until after they died.
Right.
They came to me later and told me who they were after they died, and it blew my mind because they were very mundane muggles the whole time that they were on Earth. And they came floating at me in their glowing white robes, really, really tall with gold light and flowing hair. And I'm like, Mimi, Russell, is that you?
Yeah. Right.
And they were giggling. They're like, yes, surprise. I was like, no way, you're a muggle. And they're like, man, that's what we wanted to do that one time. I was like, really? Okay, you could have said something.
Exactly.
But yeah, the environment you're in and growing up is your foundation for how empathic and later on intuitive you become. Yeah. Your third question. Yeah.
Pedigree. Did now your mom, does she talk about being intuitive at all? Because now your family lineage, you're from Sherwood Anderson, so contemporary author there with Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald and all those folks, and so now he was your great grandfather or
yes, great grandfather.
Yes,
my mother's grandfather
from Sherwood Anderson. So read some of his books too. So
Death in the Woods is popular in Winesburg, Ohio. and
Yes.
McPherson's son. But anyway, was a short story and a novelist. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So lots of wordsmith energy in your family then, right? Because your mother's
Yes.
highly intelligent. My goodness, being around her, she's so sharp.
Thank you.
Yes.
Both of my parents were smart cookies. My dad was genius level, and my brother and sister demonstrated and documented how genius level they were during their lifetimes. They're both deceased now, but some of that's genetic, and
Yes.
some of that is being highly intuitive.
Yeah. So wonderful to have that, that pedigree of like the 3D intellectual abilities. And now you're being able to mix that with this so-called spiritual intuitive side. So it's a great combination. So folks,
I'm a gatekeeper.
Margo, if you need stuff, okay.
Yep. I'm a gatekeeper. I connect the two worlds. The Aquaces thing, I think, was a cosmic joke that they were like, let's underline this and put her on that day in February. And I'm a gatekeeper. The old and the new, the 3 and the 4 and the 5 dimensions, and so on and so on. Not that I'm an expert at any particular one level, but I'm the liminal space between, the transitional spaces.
Yes.
That's where I shine. And I happen to use language as one of my bigger tools. Intuition is another tool. Yeah.
And you used to be an English teacher, right? Back in the day, is that what you did?
Yes. For GTCC, I was an English professor for about 2 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Family history continues. Okay.
Just a little bit.
So that's just the second question, folks. And remember, we're live, and you can do a chat. So let us know you're here. And ask any questions if you like. Okay. All right. So question number 3. And of course you answered some of this, but what does it feel like to be intuitive?
Day to day, it just feels normal. Normal to me.
Yeah, normal to you, yes.
Yeah, normal to me. I have a tendency to hang out with other intuitive people, so the normalization goes on and on. For all of us to run around making intuitive decisions, we'll ask each other routine questions. Do you want more of this? Are you going to be here today? What time is such and such? It's very normal for us to ask a question and then everybody stop and wait several seconds or even a minute to let the person answer.
Right.
There's very rarely instant answers. You let them have their intuitive things about processes. Let them have their process for being intuitive. It's not unusual to wait unusually long, to pause. Right. There's a really long pause. And that's the biggest difference I've noticed between communicating with my intuitive friends versus my friends who don't use it as much. The pregnant pause. Let them have their process. Yes. But that's normalized. That's very normalized. But what does it feel like to be intuitive when I'm really rocking it, when I'm in the middle of doing a reading, when I'm totally channeling tons of information and having, informational type conversation? There is a physical experience with it for me. And I wrote down some adjectives to try to explain that. And it feels floaty and it feels glowing. It's very relaxing. And it's kind of like watching television at the same time visually. So the physical thing is very much like you're floating, very much like a, lack of gravity. There is a floating, rising sensation, but there's also besides the floating, there's also a radiant, glowing outward feeling coming out as well. I mean, literally the skin sizzles, your hair's a little bit on end, and can't keep your mouth closed. Your mouth will stay open. You'll keep smiling because there's stuff coming out. Your feet and hands will sometimes, my feet and fingers, toes and fingers will tingle. I say sizzle. Sometimes it'll actually sizzle to me. But that's the physical feeling of it when I'm actually being hardcore intuitive for intentionally on many levels. Now, visually though, and mentally, It's like the closest explanation is it's like watching television. I can see a video loop that's of the situation or the conditions that they're trying to get me to describe. And it helps because then I start describing what I'm looking at. I'll say, okay, this is what they're showing me. And I'll describe colors and sizes and relativity and speed. And sometimes smell and sound will come through too. And it smells like popcorn. It smells like a pencil eraser. It smells like a car. It smells like old wool. And sounds are usually things like usually sounds that humans make during different emotions. Like when somebody finds something endearing, they'll go, oh. When they're in pain, they'll moan, and so on and so on. And as you can see, those sounds are not that different without context, but with practice, those different pitches and endurance and resonance and tone and all that, you learn which is a sigh of relief and which is a moan of agony.
Yes.
And we all know shrieking with joy. Yes. Yes, but little kids can do that great. Yet, so sometimes sounds show up too, but for me, lots of times it's a video that plays in a loop over and over until I finish explaining, until they think I'm finished explaining the scene. And that's what it physically and in the moment, that's what intuition feels like for me. But outside of those super intense moments, to me, it's just a normal thought process. It wasn't always this way. I had to commit. I had to make a conscious effort to stop listening to ego. Ego still tries to talk to me. My friends call me out on it when they feel like it's there.
Yes.
It's still constant because I'm still a 3D human.
Yes.
And ego's not a complete idiot. You can learn from it,
Yes.
but with discernment, and but it's now become a normal thought process, which surprises people when they hear that. They're like, "You do everything intuitively?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which bite I'm going to take off of my plate? How often I'm going to pick up my water bottle? If I'm going to turn right or left when it doesn't matter when I'm driving? How fast or how slow I'm going to walk? If I'm going to stop halfway down the staircase and wait a few seconds and then continue all the down the staircase?
Right.
I don't know why I stopped. I don't know why I took that turn. It doesn't matter. My intuition is guiding me for an ultimate purpose that'll be evidentiary on the other side.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you use any tools like a pendulum or any like water or candle magic? Do you use anything like that? I know you can, but you just get it because you're just intuitive, right?
I've used those tools before, and they're really cool because they give you evidence right away. I like oracle type cards that have images, not just tarot or playing deck cards. And oracle cards and images, they really speak. Ones that have animals on them, you can seriously haul down a bunch of information from those kinds of images. Gaia related good stuff. But in terms of tools, no.
Okay.
Literally, when I start, I literally just take a deep breath. That is helpful to let my body know, not stop being, but be less 3D and more of something else. And I take a deep breath and go, okay, show me what you got. And I watch the downloads come in and I discern which ones are genuine, which ones are not, because there are fakes and energies that try to come in through open portals.
Right.
And I start using my filters and start asking questions mentally and to discern who's genuinely talking to me and who is a deceiver or what is a deceiver, and just let it go from there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
You just saw a pregnant pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said stop talking, and I said okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that wonderful array of sensory definitions in 3D that now we can kind of understand what intuition is. And I hope people that are listening to this, even on replay, they'll go, well, you know, I experienced the same thing. So maybe that'll help them to key in on their skill. Yeah. So thank you for
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Outstanding. So now we know what it feels like to be intuitive. Yeah. All right. Number 4. What do you do, or how do you increase, evolve, or train your intuition?
I took a long series of notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I took 7 notes to answer that question. That question fascinated me the most, but I can read it to you. It's easy.
Okay.
The number one thing I do is I let go. I surrender, and beyond surrender to what else is out there beyond me, beyond 3D Earth, beyond ego, beyond other people's egos, beyond my higher self. And over the years, I've also learned to reach beyond God, beyond creator, beyond source, and really, really reach way, way, way out there. And that's the biggest ongoing exercise I do for myself to increase my intuition, is let go of the expectations, of the outcomes, of worrying about what people think I sound or look like while I'm doing it, or what the result may or may not be.
Yes.
I got to let go of all that stuff, and it takes practice. Another one is, while I'm doing that letting go, where are my blockages? Where do I feel my resistance? Where am I like, I don't want to let go of that yet, or whatever. It is, I work at 2 steps: find the blockage, and then learn what to do to heal or remove or shift it, whatever it needs. You have to own up to blockages. Blockages can be embarrassing. They can make you feel vulnerable. So then you got to go with, take another side tour into what is vulnerable. And then you discover that vulnerability is a strength, and it's a superpower, and it's not a weakness. And then you go down the rabbit hole of, why did I think that was a weakness? Social conditioning, churches, formal religions, society, politics, blah, blah, blah. And you go down all these rabbit holes that you're like, wait a minute, I still need to circle all that back around into my blockage that made me feel vulnerable in the first place. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of self-awareness with finding those blockages and doing what you need to do to move them, heal them, remove them, whatever. Another step I take is I confer often with other intuitives. All of my close friends are also highly sensitive people this way. And when I get to a state of stuck, which right now at this point in my life, I recognize when I have forest for the trees, I'm too close to the situation, such as my mother. I spend 90% of my time taking care of my 93-year-old mother, and all the paperwork that goes with her.
Yes.
And for me, that's forest for I can't see the forest for the trees, is what I'm summarizing. So an outside presence, a third party that is also highly intuitive, can give me insights that can, okay, and it throws guidance my way. So I confer often with other intuitives. I also, when I want to do healing, I can definitely heal myself. Everybody can. That's normal. That's, again, another normal state. But I've learned to not have a problem. You know what? I got to find a better way to say that. With recruiting other shamanic healers to assist me.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to do every single battle by yourself. Right. People and healers can assist you. They don't do it for you. They're not going to anyway. but I seek those out too. On a daily basis, every day, I make time for quiet. It's a big way. Yeah, that's another big step for increasing your intuition. And sometimes that means meditating. Sometimes that means falling asleep. Sometimes that time for quiet is not until bedtime.
Yes.
And that's fascinating because you should see what comes into my head when I close my eyes.
Yes.
I need to write a book about just that. What bedtime, sleep time, switching into that theta brainwave.
Yes.
Really cool stuff shows up. But
they could just live stream our brains, right? And everybody could just see
what's going
on with us.
Yeah, they will, and they do. And then the other thing I do to increase that making quiet time is staying in awareness of that I am in a moving meditation constantly. In meditation, I don't come out of meditation. If by one definition of meditation, stay in that state all day long. Reading versus listening. When I'm reading somebody versus when I'm listening, that's two different things. Reading someone is me attempting to bypass my filters, which apparently I'm pretty good at. Not perfect, but pretty good. Bypass my filters and say the information that I heard, listened to, as clearly, cleanly, and unbiased as possible. That takes discernment to keep those two things separated, believe it or not. And I'm always on. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
I'm always on.
Yes, always on.
Always on. Intuition that never stops. Yeah. And I always honor that, recognize it, talk to it, call it maybe a better word for saying, instead of just being on, is intuitive observing. I'm always observing from an intuitive level. Yes. And the discernment is another big challenge for lots of people. Don't judge, because you're going to see some shit. Yeah. You're going to hear and see some really funky stuff. I used to, long time ago, I was a cocktail waitress at a sports bar. And part of it is you look cute and you look hot and you dress that way and you flirt. Yeah. All right. That was a part of it. This was in the early 90s. No, late 90s. And being intuitive, and these people don't know me. My friends did, but these people didn't know me. And I would listen to their thinking and what they were thinking about. And it's basically like watching television or watching music videos. Each person is a different production, a different channel. And I would watch people kill people. I would watch people fantasize killing me while I'm talking to them, because that was their thing. Or I would watch what they were ashamed of in their life, or I would watch what they were joyful about. Watching two people in love talk is really beautiful. It's really cool to watch that as well. And it becomes a level of, and when you can tell when somebody's going to die. The option to die doesn't mean they will, but the option to die is coming up on them. That changes everything, whether they know it or not. It's fascinating. It's drama in real life. And it's obviously very entertaining, except for you need to be respectful about that entertainment. Be discerning. Don't use that information. And that clarity is difficult too, that discernment. Just because you know something about somebody doesn't mean you need to use that information when you talk to them or talk about them. Yes. Yeah, discretion. Discretion is keeping it to yourself. You can observe and keep your mouth shut. And keep your mouth shut, on that level, and just entertain yourself. And if you feel a need to talk about it, leave out identifying information, leave off names and places, change them to something else. Yes. Yeah. Discretion is about that. But yeah, I'm always on. I'm always observing intuitively. And people ask me that, they're like, can you tell me if blah, 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 do you need me to give you a minute, or you need to meditate or something? I'm like, I've already read the situation. I've already done it. I'm giving you a backstory report. from what's already happened. But it's on all the time, just observing.
Exactly. Oh, wonderful. My goodness. Folks, I hope you got your pen and paper out. If not, just hit rewind and go back over these wonderful steps. These are pearls here, pearls to the kingdom. Well, I think you've answered number 5, but just in case, what can others do to be more intuitive? So if you just...
I can wrap that one up.
Yeah, wrap that up and let people know what some things they can do.
1, 2, 3. There's 3 things. Practice. Yes. Practice using your intuition. Practice with close friends, and here's step 2. Let them give you feedback. Documenting it, either recording it or writing it down. Write your intuition. Stop, get your feedback, and write what the feedback was. Then part B of that is crucial is once you gain confidence that the feedback is 80-90% correct, your intuition was 80-90% correct, stop collecting feedback. Start trusting yourself. Start trusting yourself until you trust yourself 100%, even when people push back, kick back. No, honey, all you did was trigger them. You were right. All right. I learned that the hard way over and over and over too. Sometimes people push back to defend themselves. They don't want to hear it. And that's okay. They're welcome to do that, but don't take it personal. But for when you're learning, when you're developing, get feedback on your intuition from people you trust. By the way, you can be manipulated with this. Careful who you trust with your feedback. All right. People that give you confidence, get that feedback and then stop once you have that confidence. Practice was the other number 1 thing. And the other question that came up intuitively while I was thinking about this was, when you're developing your intuition, ask yourself, what is my motivation for wanting to know this?
Yes.
Why do I want to know this? Why is this information being brought to me? Do I need to act on it? No, not always.
Yes.
A big common mistake is, well, I saw the information. Aren't I supposed to go tell her that he's this way? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Go back and ask them, why do you want me to know this? What do you want me to do with this information? All right. Ask yourself, what is your motivation? What motivates you to pursue a particular thread or idea or insight?
Yes.
And that's it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Again, folks, these are pearls here. And, when I do coaching with people too on this subject, I always remind them, I said, now don't turn into an intuitive stalker. You can't go around, you can't be around your friends or other people and you're staring them down, or you go up and you're putting your hands like, you're trying to receive something from them. You can't, don't be creeping people out. So, don't trespass in their intuitive sense.
Yes.
We're out there, the energy's there, but that's just courtesy. So you wouldn't want people coming into your home all the time. So you just got to watch out for that. So
trespass is an excellent word for that. Yes, that explains it very well. Yes.
And what happens? That's when the 3D ego gets involved when you start doing that, because now you're wanting to read people and invade their space. Ask people. Your friends will love to work with that with you. But don't do that all the time. I mean, people don't want to sit around and help you with intuitive. Okay, I'm gonna pick a card. What does this card say? Don't do that. So. Yeah, just use it like with everything, just like any other new skill. Just don't be irritating when you enter the realm of intuitive.
Just because you learn the harmonica doesn't mean you want to whip it out and play it for every person that you saw, that you meet.
And I also just remind folks, I love what you first said, that this is just natural. So just work on that, develop your skills, and Margo is giving you some wonderful steps on how to become more intuitive, because it's already there. You just got to work on it, and like you said, trust yourself.
Thank you.
Yes, that's a big thing. Well, thank you so much, Margo. Let me access the dimensional realms and provide you with a little bit of dimensional applause. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us and sharing all that wonderful wisdom. And now, is there anything with LEWA that you have coming up that you'd like to share with folks, or just anything about yourself and plans for the near future?
Yes, Journey of the Spirit is back on. We meet once a month on second Sundays at 2:00 in downtown Greensboro. You can find it on meetup.com, Journey of the Spirit, JOS. You can see who the speakers are, and Dale has spoken for us many times,
Yes.
and multiple times, and that's something that we're doing ongoing. We'll be doing clergy ordination sometime this summer. That's not set yet. And for me, I will be speaking at the Triad Reiki Conference hosted by Kinetic Roots on May 23rd.
Excellent.
And yes, I'm a sponsor of that event as well. And they've asked me to speak, and I'm really pleased. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's downtown Greensboro as well. And May 23rd. And I'm also I've had a lot of demand for Reiki classes. And I'll be honest with you, Dale, I haven't taught Reiki in like 3 years.
Right.
I used to teach it prolifically. And
Right.
since I went to the beach and did photography, ran out of time.
Yeah.
And how I perceive and want to do and teach Reiki is very different than how I wanted to do it in the past. It's a lot more intuitive.
Yes, definitely.
It's much less structured than it used to be.
Evolved.
And yes, and I wrote a series of textbooks, Amazon.com, called Learn Reiki that I teach from. But now I know I'm going to try teaching. I've got one class set up for the end of April at the beach, near North Myrtle Beach and Sunset Beach. But I'm thinking about running a class to sort of refresh existing masters and get them up to speed, since it's been a while since they've studied and had community with each other, and just sort of do a one-day refresher workshop. And I'll do that sometime this spring or summer too. And that'll be fun, because I'm also going to allow space for them to share with each other as a group. What have you learned that is above and beyond what you studied?
Yes.
Yeah. And let them commune and share. Yeah.
Oh, so wonderful. All these wonderful spiritual, mind, body, spiritual opportunities you're presenting. And now LEWA, Light and Energy Workers Association, that is a church. So when you mention clergy ordinations, that you ordain people, right?
Yes, just like EarthStar does. We're multi-faith, and the main difference between EarthStar and LEWA is very much self-guided.
Yes.
And people do their own thing, and they're not seeking training and teaching and wisdom like your people do with you, and they are smart to do that because you and Jeanne have a lot to offer. Yes, and in LEWA, they can seek each other. They can seek me out if they want to. And it's multi-faith. We've got over 235, more than, I lost count. It's about 240 now. Clergy internationally as well as nationally. Yeah. EarthStar inspired, and Dale and Jeanne taught me the legalities of how to start this back in 2004. And Journey of the Spirit is our one of our contributions back to society for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for being a light in our community, our world, our galaxy, our universe, multiverse. And thank you for being on all the time, right? All the time. That's what we're here to do, right?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity to share. This is beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Wait, let me show one more slide for people. That's the one I skipped through earlier. Got to do our POW. So remember, Hawaii, POW means it's all over. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, POW. Good. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Margo. Thank you for being here, sharing your wisdom and light and love and humor. Always wonderful to be around you, whether it's cyberspace or in person. We're going to have to work more on the in-person things. Still working on Jeanne's healing aspects, but soon I know she's ready to get back out there too. So thanks for being here.
Wonderful. Give her my love, and I'll see you in June.
And if you'll hang on, she wants to talk to you in a minute. All right.
Yay. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Remember, be aloha in every moment. Here we go.
Aloha.